This isn't just another story about pyramids and mummies.
Away from the public eye, most Egyptologists and archaeologists are baffled and have a lot of questions. Very little is known about this tomb. Let's get in.
This is the kind of tale that makes even Joe Rogan raise an eyebrow mid-podcast. Hidden beneath Egypt's sands are not just tombs, but chilling secrets that challenge everything we think we know. A dagger forged from a meteorite.
They didn't just want to wipe him from history. They wanted to wipe him from the future.
A pharaoh whose skull defies explanation. Whispering corridors, secret chambers, and hieroglyphs that look eerily like helicopters. These aren't fringe conspiracies, they're real archaeological finds. And when scientists and skeptics alike are left speechless, you know it's worth asking the big questions. So buckle up, because even the desert can't keep all its ghosts buried. The Alien Pharaoh in Tomb 55. In 1907, deep in the Valley of the Kings, archaeologists uncovered a tomb that didn't fit any known pattern. It wasn't grand or decorated like the others. Tomb 55 was barren, unsettlingly quiet, almost as if it had been deliberately erased from memory. Inside, they found a single sarcophagus, surrounded by 4 magical bricks, all facing inward, not to protect, but to contain. The walls were scratched with frantic inscriptions from priests, warnings like, "The evil one shall not live again." The mummy inside was a horror in itself. The face had been violently defaced. The name on the coffin was scraped off. Only one eye remained, staring blankly, as if watching across time. Many believe this is the resting place of Akhenaten, the most controversial pharaoh in Egyptian history. He abandoned Egypt's many gods to worship one, the Aten, a glowing solar disk. A revolutionary, a threat, or something stranger? Akhenaten's skull was elongated. His features? Unusual. Speculation swirled. Was he even human? Was this why the priests tried so hard to bury him, not just physically, but spiritually? The mystery still stands. If Tomb 55 held Akhenaten, what were they truly trying to seal away? A heretic king, or something not entirely of this world? The vanishing of Queen Nefertiti. Nefertiti wasn't just a queen, she was a symbol of power, grace, and rebellion. Alongside Akhenaten, she reshaped Egypt's spiritual world, abandoning the traditional gods in favor of a single deity, the Aten. Her image was everywhere, etched into temples, painted in palaces, always standing proudly beside the pharaoh. But then, something strange happened. Around the 12th year of Akhenaten's reign, Nefertiti vanished. No death record, no tomb, no mention. She was simply gone. Some believe she died unexpectedly, perhaps in childbirth, and was secretly buried to preserve the image of the royal family's perfection. Others suspect a political fall from grace, her name intentionally wiped from history. But a more intriguing theory suggests she never vanished at all. Instead, she may have returned, under a new name, as Pharaoh Smenkhkare, ruling Egypt from behind a male identity. Archaeologists have found several unidentified mummies from this era, and DNA testing is ongoing. One of them could be her. Adding to the mystery, 3 of Nefertiti's daughters also disappeared around the same time, their fates unknown. Why was she erased, or was she hiding in plain sight? Even today, we're no closer to answers. Nefertiti's vanishing act remains one of ancient Egypt's most unsettling cold cases, a silence that still echoes across the sands. Tutankhamun's meteorite dagger. When Howard Carter opened Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, the world was stunned by gold, jewels, and untouched history. But among the treasures, one object quietly defied explanation: a dagger. Not of gold or bronze, but iron. That alone was strange. During Tutankhamun's time, iron was incredibly rare, more valuable than gold, and almost never used in Egypt.
Iron was not exactly well used during the Egyptian period, especially during King Tut's rule, which was 1300 BC.
Yet this blade wasn't just lying in the tomb, it was placed directly on the mummy, as if it held a deeper meaning. Then came the real shock. Scientists analyzed the metal, and discovered it wasn't from Earth. The dagger was crafted from meteoritic iron, metal that fell from the sky. A cosmic weapon forged in fire beyond this world. Its preservation is just as baffling. Thousands of years buried, and still it gleams with barely a trace of rust. No other ancient blade compares. Was it ceremonial? Protective? Or was it something far more mysterious? Evidence of knowledge the ancients weren't supposed to have? Could it have symbolized a connection between the pharaoh and the heavens? Or something that came from them? Tutankhamun's dagger isn't just a relic. It's a question mark. A riddle in metal that cuts through everything we assume about ancient Egypt. Because sometimes, the most powerful weapon is the one that doesn't belong.
Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you.
The Wailing Woman of the Nile. When night falls over the Nile and the river lies still under a pale moon, locals speak of a sound that chills the soul, a long, mournful cry that drifts across the water. They call her the Wailing Woman of the Nile. No one knows when her legend began, only that it refuses to fade. Some say she was a grieving mother who, in a moment of madness or despair, drowned her own children. Others believe they were lost to the current, and she followed them in sorrow, only to return as something else. Now, she walks the riverbanks, searching endlessly, her cries piercing the silence. People claim to hear her wails before tragedy strikes, boats sinking, storms rising, lives lost. Some describe her as a vengeful spirit, drawing the living into the depths. Others say she's just lost, trapped between worlds, unable to let go. Fishermen still leave offerings on the shore. Families stay inside on stormy nights. Even skeptics glance over their shoulders when walking near the water alone. Her face is never seen. Only her voice remains, echoing through time like a warning no one fully understands. Real or not, the Wailing Woman endures, because some stories aren't just told, they're felt and feared. The Bent Pyramid of Dashur. At first glance, it looks like any other pyramid, massive, ancient, commanding, but then you notice something strange. Halfway up, the steep sides suddenly shift, as if the pyramid changed its mind mid-construction. This is the Bent Pyramid of Dashur, and it's one of Egypt's most bizarre architectural enigmas. Built during the reign of Pharaoh Sneferu around 2600 BCE, the pyramid begins at a steep 54-degree angle, only to abruptly taper off to a gentler 43-degree slope. Was it a mistake? Did the builders realize the structure was unstable and decide to correct the course? That's one theory, but others suggest something far more symbolic. Perhaps the angle change represented the sun's path across the sky, or the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. Maybe it wasn't an error at all, but an intentional design meant to encode deeper meaning into the very shape of the monument. What makes it even weirder is that the pyramid is still incredibly well preserved. The smooth outer casing stones, rare among pyramids, still cling to the surface like armor. Whatever the reason for its strange form, the Bent Pyramid feels like a forgotten message from the past, one we still haven't fully decoded. The Giza Power Plant Hypothesis. We've been taught that the Great Pyramid of Giza was a tomb, a final resting place for Pharaoh Khufu. But what if it wasn't? What if it was something far more advanced, something almost impossible? Engineer Christopher Dunn proposed a theory that sounds like science fiction. The Great Pyramid wasn't a tomb at all, but a power plant. According to him, the pyramid was designed to harness natural energy, possibly even electricity, using Earth's vibrations or cosmic forces. It sounds wild, but some details are hard to ignore. The pyramid's near-perfect alignment with the cardinal directions, the strange internal shafts and chambers serve no clear funerary purpose. The use of specific types of stone with conductive properties. Dunn believes these weren't random design choices. They were part of a system that generated and transmitted energy. Skeptics laugh it off, pointing to a lack of physical evidence. But believers argue the evidence is hidden in plain sight, misinterpreted through the lens of traditional archaeology. If done is right, the Great Pyramid could be the last surviving piece of an ancient technological age, one we've forgotten entirely, or perhaps one we were never supposed to remember in the first place. The unfinished obelisk of Aswan. In the granite quarries of Aswan lies something colossal, an obelisk that was never completed, never raised, never forgotten. Carved directly into the bedrock, this unfinished obelisk stretches an astonishing 137 feet long and would have weighed over 1,000 tons if completed. It was meant to be the largest obelisk ever erected, likely commissioned by Queen Hatshepsut, but it cracked. Tool marks are still visible. Red ochre guidelines were sketched along its sides. It feels as if the workers just dropped their chisels and walked away yesterday. The sight freezes a moment in time, a glimpse into ancient labor, ambition, and failure. Why was it left behind? The obvious answer is the crack, but others believe something deeper stopped the project. Perhaps it was seen as a bad omen, or maybe it was never meant to be completed, intended instead as a hidden message about human limits. Standing at its edge, you can feel its weight, not just the physical mass, but the weight of broken dreams. A monument not to triumph, but to the fragility of even the mightiest empires. Sometimes, the most powerful stories are the ones left unfinished. Egypt isn't just a land of pharaohs and pyramids, it's a realm of riddles, stories carved in stone, whispered through tombs, and buried beneath shifting sands. From alien daggers to ghostly cries, from lost queens to secret chambers, every mystery pulls us deeper into a past that refuses to stay silent. These aren't just tales of ancient glory, they're clues, fragments of something larger, stranger, and still unexplained. Maybe the truth was never lost, just waiting for someone to see it differently. Because in Egypt, the line between history and the impossible is thinner than we dare to believe, and it still calls.